all women are different, but they are all women. This video is androcentric from a men's point of view and is presented as opinion, commentary, and debate. Expressing opinions is not violence. These are ideas to challenge, question, and argue in public because classical liberalism relies on the First Amendment for its dialectic. If you are a feminist, then consider this. If patriarchy truly existed as claimed, feminism could not. And if all men are trash and women are equal to men, then what are we to conclude? Women will die for their children, men will die for their wives and children, and God chose to die for all mankind. Authority rolls up with responsibility. If this framing of facts offends you, click off to a cute cat video. Proceeding further will expose you to gamma bias and criticism directed at ideas, claims, institutions, not at any individual's virtue or dignity. Our method follows the 7 liberal arts: the trivium, grammar, logic, rhetoric, and the quadrivium, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy, and the transcendentals, the good, true, and beautiful. If this framework is not for you, feel free to exit now. It's no disgrace. Women are wonderful. God bless America. Men are great. Feminismus delendis 8. Dismantling the Matrimonial Trap, Mastering Your Fate as a Man, written by Conrad Riker, available now, links in description. Divorce Court, Male Slavery, How to Read the Pattern Before It Reads You, she said. You're so obsessed with being right that you've forgotten how to be kind, and now you're making me feel small in my own home. $15 of organic produce. I held the spreadsheet steady, said nothing cruel, changed no volume, and watched a budget correction get transmuted in real time into an act of domestic cruelty. Every man misreads this phrase the same way the first time. He hears a complaint about tone, reaches for the math, and starts re-explaining the numbers. He believes the argument is still about groceries. It is not. The argument was never about groceries. It is about whether a man is permitted to hold a fact against a woman's feeling without paying a tax in contrition. The panic that follows is familiar. The urge to apologize, to soften, to litigate the tone in a midnight courtroom where she is plaintiff, witness, judge, and court reporter. But pleading concedes the hidden premise that his accuracy was aggression, and debate rewards the maneuver, because every sentence he spends defending the number is a sentence he is not spending on the budget. The solution is translation, not appeasement, not cross-examination, but the disciplined act of decoding what was actually said beneath the words. I was wrong, and your being right makes the wrongness visible. And I need the wrongness to disappear, so I will make your correctness the crime. Once you can hear that structure every time under every costume, the phrase loses its spell. The phrase, "You're so obsessed with being right that you've forgotten how to be kind, and now you're making me feel small in my own home," speaker context. A husband has just calmly corrected his wife's factual error regarding their monthly grocery budget during a dinner conversation, pointing out that she underestimated the cost of organic produce by 15. He did not raise his voice, but he held the spreadsheet steady. Surface meaning: the husband is prioritizing logical accuracy over emotional warmth, causing the wife to feel diminished or insignificant within the domestic sphere. Hidden demand: abandon the factual correction immediately. Validate my emotional experience of the correction as more important than the correction itself. Apologize for the tone of my existence rather than the content of my words. Core contradiction: she demands he be kind, an emotional state, while simultaneously punishing him for being right, a factual state, implying that kindness is defined by the absence of truth when it is inconvenient to her. Phrase map. Phrase decoder map. Phrase, you're so obsessed with being right that you've forgotten how to be kind, and now you're making me feel small in my own home. Speaker. Context: a husband calmly corrected his wife's factual error about their monthly grocery budget. She underestimated organic produce costs by 15. He didn't raise his voice. He held the spreadsheet steady. She responded not with a counter number, but with a moral indictment of his correctness itself. Surface meaning: you prioritize accuracy over warmth, and your correction has made me feel diminished in our shared space. Hidden demand: drop the factual correction. Validate my emotional reaction as more important than the data. Apologize not for what you said, but for the fact that you said it while being right. Core contradiction, she demands kindness, which classically includes truthfulness, while punishing truth-telling as unkindness. Kindness is redefined as the absence of any fact that causes her discomfort. Girl logic pattern, if I am factually wrong but emotionally wounded, my wound outranks your data. Therefore, your correctness is not information, it is aggression. Feeling hurt transmutes a budget error into a moral crime committed against me. Girl math pattern, my 15 error equals negligible in dollars, invisible in consequence. Your correction of it equals negligible in dollars, catastrophic in dignity. The ledger rebalances. I owe nothing for the mistake. You owe emotional restitution for noticing it. Projection pattern, she accuses him of being obsessed with being right. Yet she is the one reorganizing the entire conversation, topic, stakes, moral frame to avoid being wrong. Her obsession with not being wrong is projected onto his simple accuracy. Projective confession, making me feel small, reveals her own framework. She experiences factual correction as hierarchical domination. In her architecture, his being right necessarily shrinks her. The accusation confesses the zero-sum lens she cannot escape. Decoding axes, axis 1 tone, policing versus evidence. Definition. Substituting the perceived harshness of delivery for the validity of content as the test of truth. Evidence, you're so obsessed with being right that you've forgotten how to be kind. Fallacy. Tone policing ad hominem. The argument is assessed by the emotional weather around it, not the numbers inside it. Male decode, she is not litigating the budget. She is litigating the hierarchy of values. Her comfort ranks above the ledger's accuracy. Disciplined response, I can be right and kind. The two are not at war. Here is the data, axis 2, feeling versus fact. Definition. Elevating subjective emotional states to the status of objective, actionable reality. Evidence, making me feel small in my own home. Fallacy, subjective idealism. A feeling is treated as a physical property of the environment. The home itself becomes oppressive. Male decode, the house has not shrunk. Her ego has expanded to fill the space the correction opened. Feeling small is a narrative election, not a spatial fact. Disciplined response. Your feelings are real to you. They are not the budget. Let us look at the numbers. Axis 3, projection. Definition. An accusation that functions as a mirror, disclosing the accuser's own concealed motive. Evidence, you're so obsessed with being right. Fallacy. Psychological projection. The fixation on winning, on restructuring reality to avoid accountability is hers, not his. Male decode, she wants to win the encounter without fixing the error. Being right is her weapon, projected onto him to disarm his evidence. Disciplined response, I'm interested in what we spent. Are you interested in that, or in being comforted about what we spent? Axis 4, face saving versus honesty. Definition. Prioritizing social self-image and ego protection over transparent, shared reality. Evidence, in my own home. Fallacy, territorial narcissism. The home is recast as a private theater for her dignity rather than a joint operational household. Male decode, she feels exposed. Even privately, correction reads as public humiliation of competence. The goal is face restoration, not fiscal responsibility. Disciplined response, this is our shared home, not a stage. I corrected a number, I did not correct your worth. Decode and debunk. The phrase, you're so obsessed with being right that you've forgotten how to be kind, and now you're making me feel small in my own home. Context. A husband calmly corrects his wife's 15 error on the monthly grocery budget. He holds the spreadsheet steady. He does not raise his voice. Her response is not a counter number, but a moral indictment of his correctness itself. What it sounds like. On first hearing, this sounds like a plea from a wounded woman married to a cold, pedantic man who values data over dignity. She is asking for warmth. She is telling him his tone has made her feel diminished in the space that should be her sanctuary. The surface reading invites any decent man to apologize, soften, and promise to be gentler, what it is doing. The phrase is not a request for kindness. It is a frame shift weapon. It takes a factual dispute about 15 and transmutes it into a moral trial about his character. The budget disappears. The spreadsheet becomes evidence of cruelty. The husband goes from co-manager of household finances to defendant in a court of emotional jurisdiction. The hidden demand: abandon the truth immediately. Validate her feeling as the only relevant data. Apologize not for what you said, but for the fact that you said it while being right. The goal is not reconciliation of numbers, but surrender of his reality to her narrative. The decoding axes. Axis 1, tone policing versus evidence. She judges the argument by its emotional delivery, not its factual content. You've forgotten how to be kind translates to: your accuracy is irrelevant because it arrived in a package I found uncomfortable. The fallacy is substituting mood for truth. The male decode: she is not arguing the budget, she is arguing that her comfort outranks the ledger. Axis 2, feeling versus fact. Making me feel small in my own home elevates a subjective emotional state to the status of objective reality. The house has not shrunk. Her ego has expanded to fill the space. The correction opened. The fallacy is subjective idealism. Feeling becomes fact. The male decode: feeling small is a narrative election, not a spatial measurement. Axis 3, projection. She accuses him of being obsessed with being right. Yet she is the one reorganizing the entire conversation, topic, stakes, moral frame, to avoid being wrong. Her fixation on winning the encounter without fixing the error is projected onto his simple accuracy. The accusation confesses her own motive. Axis 4, face-saving versus honesty in my own home recasts the domestic space as a private theater for her dignity rather than a shared operational unit. She feels exposed. Even a private correction reads as public humiliation of competence. The goal is face restoration, not fiscal responsibility. The fallacies: tone policing. The argument is assessed by the emotional weather around it, not the numbers inside it. Subjective idealism. A feeling is treated as a physical property of the environment. Projection. She accuses him of what she is doing, reorganizing reality to avoid accountability. Ad hominem, you're obsessed with being right attacks the person, not the proposition. False dilemma: right versus kind, as if the two cannot coexist. Moral inversion: truth-telling is recast as aggression. Emotional comfort is elevated to the highest virtue. Territorial narcissism: the home is framed as a stage for her performance of dignity, not a joint household. The male error modes: apologizing for being right. This invites more facts to be challenged. Once you apologize for truth, truth becomes negotiable. Over-explaining the math, more data is perceived as more aggression. She is not confused about the numbers. She is rejecting their authority. Justify, argue, defend, explain. Every defense confirms her frame that he has done something wrong. Mistaking her emotion for his fault, her feeling of smallness does not prove he made her small. Correlation is not causation. Surrendering the frame. Accepting kindness versus rightness as the terms of debate guarantees loss. Seeking emotional rescue. Trying to make her feel better about the truth teaches her that emotional distress cancels reality. The disciplined response: hold reality, I can be right and kind. The two are not at war. Here is the data. Name the feeling without surrendering the truth. I see you feel criticized. That is your experience. The number is still 15 off. Refuse the false frame. I am not making you small. I am making the budget clear. Those are different acts. Reward directness. If you want me to stop correcting factual errors in our shared finances, tell me that directly. Do not make me guess your emotional needs through character accusations. Document the pattern. Note this as a recurring tactic of emotional deflection from financial accountability. A single incident is a moment. A pattern is a strategy. Maintain calm physical presence. Do not fidget. Do not look away. Do not smile nervously. Be a statue of truth. Exit if needed. I will go to the study to finish my work. Let me know when you are ready to look at the spreadsheet together. Good faith distinction. If she later returns and says, I felt embarrassed by the correction and reacted badly, the number is right. But can we discuss finances in a way that doesn't make me feel stupid? That is a bid for repair. Reward it. The disciplined response is for the attack, not the woman. Male response protocol. Practical male response protocol for "you're so obsessed with being right that you've forgotten how to be kind. And now you're making me feel small in my own home." Move 1. Slow down and stop the reaction cycle. Do not answer the accusation. The trap is urgency. Take a breath. Let the silence land. Sample sentence. I'm going to pause before I respond to that. Move 2. Identify the claim and separate fact from feeling. She has fused a factual error, the 15 budget correction, with an emotional narrative. Feeling small. Unhook them. Sample sentence. The budget number is a fact. Your feeling of being small is an emotion. Let's treat them as two different things. Move 3. Ask for a direct request. She is signaling distress without stating what she wants. Force clarity. Sample sentence. What exactly are you asking me to do right now? Do you want me to apologize for correcting the number, or do you want to solve the budget discrepancy? Move 4. Refuse mind-reading guilt. Reject the implication that you should have known she would react this way. Sample sentence. I cannot be expected to predict that a factual correction would make you feel small. If you have a need, state it directly. Move 5. Refuse the projective confession. She accuses you of being obsessed with being right when she is the one avoiding the facts. Name it without heat. Sample sentence. You are accusing me of being obsessed with truth. That sounds like a projection of your own discomfort with being wrong. Move 6. Hold the boundary of reality. The home is not a stage for her dignity. It is a shared operational unit. Sample sentence. I am not making you small. I'm making the budget clear. Those are not the same thing. Move 7. Reward directness if it comes. If she pivots to an actual request, engage on that level. Sample sentence. If you tell me you need a moment before discussing numbers, I can grant that, but do not cloak it as an attack on my character. Move 8. Set a boundary on the accusation frame. Stop the obsessed with being right narrative. Sample sentence. I'm not obsessed with being right. I'm committed to accuracy in our shared finances. That is not an attack on you. Move 9. Document serious claims. If she persists in rewriting reality, note it for your own records. Sample sentence. You are now claiming I make you feel small in your own home. That is a serious accusation. I will remember it. But let's return to the spreadsheet. Are we 15 off or not? Move 10. Exit circular contempt if needed. If she refuses to engage in good faith, remove yourself from the emotional arena. Sample sentence. I'm not going to debate whether my intentions are kind when I simply stated a number. I'm going to the study. When you are ready to discuss the budget without personal accusations, I am available. Access checklist. Tone policing versus evidence. She is not arguing the budget. She is arguing the hierarchy of values. She values her comfort over the accuracy of the ledger. Response. I can be right and kind simultaneously. I will show you the data without raising my voice. Feeling versus fact. Her feeling small is a narrative choice, not a physical reality. The home is not shrinking. Her ego is expanding to fill the space of the correction. Response. Your feelings are valid, but they are not the budget. Let's look at the numbers. Projective confession. She is using being right as a weapon to avoid accountability for the budget error. She wants to win the argument, not fix the finances. Response. I am interested in the truth of our finances. Are you interested in that or in being comforted? Face saving versus honesty. She feels exposed. The correction was a public, even if private, shaming of her competence. She wants to restore her face, not the funds. Response. This is our shared home, not a stage. I corrected the number, not your worth. I have stood in that kitchen. I have held the spreadsheet. I have watched a $15 discrepancy become a referendum on my soul, and I have learned through years of decoding this language that the woman speaking womanese is not your enemy. She is a navigator working from a different map, one where feeling is topography and tone is weather, and the fastest route to her destination is always through your apology. You cannot blame her for the map. But you cannot sail by it either, because it leads somewhere no man with a mission can afford to go. A harbor where truth is the admission price for peace, and peace is never actually delivered. The men who master this do not become colder. They become legible. They learn to hear the demand beneath the distress, the confession beneath the accusation, the negotiation beneath the tears. And they learn to answer without surrendering the only currency that keeps a household upright. The uncontested fact, held calmly like a lantern in a room full of people who suddenly claim they cannot see. I have watched men apologize their way out of their own homes, one concession at a time, each retreat dressed as kindness, each surrender called love. That is not love. That is a slow liquidation, and the creditor is never satisfied because the debt was never real. Here's the one rule I give you: carry it like a coin in your pocket. Turn it over when the fog rolls in and the words stop meaning what they say. Translate the emotion without adopting the premise. Hear the feeling, name it. Acknowledge that it exists in the room like heat from a stove. But never let it rewrite the ledger, redraw the boundary, or reinterpret what happened. Her feeling is real. Her interpretation of the event is a separate object. Hold both in your hands at once, the warmth of recognition in one, the cold structure of fact in the other. A man who can do this is not cruel. He is not cold. He is load-bearing. And a house stands or falls on whether its beams know the difference between weather and weight. Sponsored book, Dismantling the Matrimonial Trap. Mastering your fate. As a man, you're holding a weapon. Not the kind that leaves bullet holes, but the kind that blasts through lies. My name's Conrad Riker. I lost half my net worth, my home, and nearly my sanity to a system that treats men like livestock, milked for resources, then discarded when the milk runs dry. If you've ever signed a marriage license, paid child support for a kid you rarely see, or been called toxic for refusing to apologize for existing as a man, this book is your lifeline. This isn't theory. It's a battlefield report from the front lines of a war you didn't know you were fighting. Modern marriage isn't about love. It's a state-backed shakedown, a legal snare designed to transfer your labor, wealth, and autonomy to someone else's control. Courts rubber stamp alimony orders that chain you to ex-wives who've moved on. No-fault divorce? A lie. You pay the price financially, emotionally, socially. Feminist Marxist rhetoric demonizes fatherhood while demanding you fund lifestyles you didn't choose. Biological reality. Women bear children. Men bear consequences. But biology doesn't care about your feelings, and neither do the social engineers rewriting rules to paint masculinity as a crime. This book is for men who were done being human ATMs, men who see through the equality smokescreen hiding a genocratic caste system. If you still believe marriage is a fair deal, that family courts prioritize justice, or that toxic masculinity isn't a trap to shame you into compliance, put this down. Go binge Netflix, collect stamps, do anything else. For the rest, the ones ready to confront how wedlocked culture hijacks your paycheck, your parenthood, and your purpose, what follows is your exit plan. We'll dissect the legalized theft of alimony, expose custody kangaroo courts, and dismantle the myth that leadership is oppression. You'll learn why sexual agency beats beta buck servitude, how to dodge the misandry industry's traps, and why reclaiming stoic discipline is your ticket off the plantation. The road ahead isn't gentle. It's for warriors, not worriers. Your future unshackled, uncompromised, undefeated starts here. Turn the page or stay enslaved, your move. Dismantling the Matrimonial Trap, Mastering Your Fate as a Man, written by Conrad Riker. Buy now, links in description.